Obviously, the Israel-Palestine conflict is a contentious topic. I met with some members of the Free Palestine movement and listened to their thoughts on the biases towards Israel in both American media and politics. Examples of Orientalism, essentialism, and ethnocentrism are all present in today's news media and in political agendas and help dehumanize the Palestinian people.
I just want the world to know it's actually happening, because one thing is happening and another thing is being displayed in the media. For instance, you will hear more so about what Palestinians are doing to the Israelis, but you're not going to hear about what the Israelis are doing to the Palestinians.
According to the Israeli police, it was a 19-year-old resident of Hebron in the southern West Bank. In that incident, this man apparently, when he was approached by Israeli police, he was acting strangely, they said. When they came closer, he pulled a knife and they shot him, but not fatally. He ran towards the Damascus Gate itself, where another unit of Israeli border police shot him multiple times, killing him on the spot.
The Palestinian movement, as far as freeing it, is just like, we just want to live free just like everybody else. I think we have a right to live freely and live just like everybody else. It isn't just they're anti-Semitic, because it has nothing to do with that. Anti-Semitic would be us hating Jews when, there's Jews that are with the Free Palestine movement itself. I think the media just doesn't portray that. They kind of make you a villain if you're against Israel, but they don't really care what happens to Palestinians at all.
What I was saying was last Thursday saw the start of a new ground offensive launched by Israel. Holy look, obviously there are many strong opinions on this issue, but just merely mentioning Israel or questioning in any way the effectiveness or humanity of Israel's policies is not the same thing as being pro-Hamas.
So you're against murdered children?
Free Gaza! Free Palestine!
The Zionist pig!
Where they have checkpoints, they have to check you, you have to have your passport. It might not be that star that they had on their chest, but you have to have your passport, because if you don't, they're sending you back. You're a threat to their society. You're dangerous to them. That's not right. I was a little kid walking down the street. I can only imagine the little kids who live there. I was there for a month. They're there for their whole lives if they make it. If they make it to 18, 19 years old, they already been through 3 wars in all those years. It's just, I guess, I'm real more active in the Palestine movement because of that, because of them. I've seen the little things that I felt uncomfortable with, and they live with that on a daily basis. But you could be proud of being American, though. But you can't be proud of people, to be Arab or Palestinian. It just almost doesn't make sense. And I believe that's because of the way the media covers it. Like I said, you don't really see anything good that we do. You just see the bad. Palestinian stabs Israeli. You don't see that Palestinian stabbed the Israeli because his brother and sister just got shot and killed. You don't see that his house just got blown up. So he's just defending himself the best way he knows how to. Most Palestinians have rocks. They have guns. They have tanks. They have warplanes. And we're seen as so bad because we have rocks and we defend ourselves. And that's just how the media makes us look. They make us look like monsters. Like a little Palestinian kid, they won't show that kid dying, but they'll show, Hamas. They'll show Hamas with, their rifles and all that. That's a very small minority compared to the majority who just want to live freely. Some are just too scared to even defend themselves. So I think the media does that a lot, especially because, Zionists have a big hand in the media. They basically control a lot of what's said and what's done. If you look at Fox News alone, Rupert Murdoch, he's a big-time Zionist. He supports Israel a lot. So, if he's supporting them, why would he cover us? Why would he show anything good we're doing? And I think that's how a lot of them think. A lot of them act just upon that alone. And it's more about the money, because they're funded by the Israelis, so why not? Why not cover what they have to say? Because as long as they're keeping you rich, who cares about the little kids that are dying? Who cares about the families that are being destroyed? And those homes that are being blown up or taken
Simple
over.
idea, but it has stirred a passionate debate. Mason schools canceled an event that invited girls to wear a Muslim headscarf for a day. 9 on Your Side's Julie O'Neill got both sides of the story today. Julie?
We just spoke within the last hour. The principal telling me she's very concerned about the emotional safety of these Muslim students after the backlash that's come associated with this event. As you mentioned, she sent this email out to parents clarifying that this event is canceled. Principal Mindy McCarty Stewart sat down with student leaders of the Mason Muslim Students Group today and says they decided together to cancel the event called Covered for a Day. An email had gone out giving the impression that this was a school-sponsored event, and that drew a lot of emails and calls that made the principal very concerned here, people accusing the school of promoting jihad.
Well, I mean, if she has freedom of choice to dress however she wants here, why can't she dress however she wants there as far as covering her head? I mean, the West really doesn't see that as a necessarily good thing. They want to call our women oppressed. They look at places like Saudi Arabia where women are not allowed to drive, and then they categorize the entire Middle East like that, or Islam in general like that, where I have 2 sisters, they both drive. I have a mother, she drives. I mean, not every place is like Saudi Arabia as far as those rules.
I attended their annual conference, which drew 18,000 supporters and every major presidential candidate except for Bernie Sanders. I got to hear pro-Israel messaging that was so strong, facts didn't even seem to matter.
What do they say about that?
We don't consider it occupation.
The glimpse I got of the AIPAC machine in action was as fascinating as it was frightening. Another popular way to rally the crowd was by dehumanizing Palestinians and blaming them for the absence of peace.
Palestinian children are raised in a culture that glorifies martyrdom and the willingness to die in the pursuit of killing or maiming Israelis.
What I didn't hear was basic context, like the fact that Israel has kept more than 4 million Palestinians under a military occupation for decades, or that Israel continues expanding settlements on Palestinian land in violation of international law and long-standing U.S. policy. Those realities weren't criticized as major impediments to peace at all. Attendees kept saying they supported peace between Israelis and Palestinians, but strangely weren't really ready to talk about Israel's actions in the region.
For instance, Bernie Sanders, God bless his soul, he's actually giving a name out for Palestinians in America. A couple days ago, was it yesterday?
Last night.
Yeah, last night he told the rest of the world on national television that if we are searching for peace and world peace, we need to treat Palestinians with respect and dignity. When he said that, I put a special place in my heart for Bernie Sanders.
But in the long run, if we are ever going to bring peace to that region, which has seen so much hatred and so much war, we are going to have to treat the Palestinian people with respect and dignity. I believe the United States and the rest of the world have got to work together to help the Palestinian people. That does not make me anti-Israel. That paves the way, I think,
Thank you,
for
Senator.
an approach that works in the Middle East.
And in comparison to the rest of the world, we're really not much different. I mean, we all have one motive, and that's to practice freely. We all want to have a healthy lifestyle, raise children, have a family, pursue our goals. We're all human beings, and we're just trying to live and just go with the flow.
I think the thing that people need to understand the most about Middle Easterns, Palestinians, doesn't matter where you're from out there, is we're the same. Like he said, we just want to live the same way you want to live. We want to be able to do what we want to do. As long as that's not harming anybody else, I don't see what anyone would have a problem with that. I mean, we're not barbaric like the media says we are. We're normal people. I've lived in America my whole entire life. Never killed anybody.
I mean, we might eat with our hands. There are special dishes that we eat our hands with, but I mean, we're just like the rest of the world. We're human beings. We enjoy going to the movies Friday nights. We enjoy long walks on the beach.
Hookah, obviously. That's one thing we do enjoy the most. Hanging out with friends. I mean, we're regular just like everybody else, and I think that's what everybody needs to understand. Forget the media. Forget what you see on the news. Forget what you see in newspapers. Go talk to a Muslim. See how they act. See if they don't greet you. Go talk to an Arab. See how they react. See if they don't greet you. Salamu alaikum. A lot of people hear that. That literally means peace be upon you. So as soon as you greet somebody, Muslim or non-Muslim, and you say Salamu alaikum, that literally means peace be upon you. I mean, Islam means love. I mean,
and God says, He directly states, even if you're fighting with another person, if it's longer than 3 days, you know, God's holding you accountable for that. And if you pass that person, you're automatically supposed to say, peace be upon you in Arabic.
I mean, and that's just how it is. I mean, people think like we're all these bad people, but we're just like you. We're American, we're Palestinian, we're from China, we're from Japan, doesn't matter where you're from, African, and we're all the same. We're just people. So I think that's what everybody needs to understand the most, to be honest.
Donald Trump does not care about Palestinian people.
Kanye West.